in regards to Assembly Bill 1387, which is care facilities and civil penalties. Mr. Chu, thank you so much for being here today. It's really good to see you, sir. How you doing?
Doing very good.
It's a busy day for you.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Chair of the Human Services Committees on the other side of the House, so
It's those dang senators.
it's great to have a break.
Hey, that's
and
what I'm
come
saying,
over
exactly.
here and speak in front of you. But thank you very much, Mr. Chairs and members. I'd like to start by accepting the committee amendment included in this analysis. AB 1387 builds upon recent reform to the licensing and regulation of community care facilities in our state by ensuring that fair and efficient appeal processes exist for community care facility licensees and that fair complaint processes exist for the individual filing complaints about resident care facility for the elderly. Our state has made and continue to make headway in the strengthening its licensing and monitoring of the facilities that provide cares for a number of very vulnerable Californians residents. This bill seeks to contribute to those efforts by ensuring fair and efficient processes for licensing and consumers alike. I respectfully urge for your aye vote, and I have some witnesses in support. So if you may, Mr. Chair, we'll have the witnesses just.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members. Heather Harrison with the California Assisted Living Association. We're in support, and I'm here to speak to the licensee appeal process and the changes that this bill makes. The current process for all community care licensed facilities is flawed, it's inefficient, it's slow. This bill makes tremendous progress in bringing some additional efficiencies, additional transparencies, and much needed due process for the licensee appeal system. So with that, thank you for your leadership on this issue.
Thank you so much. Welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Tony Chicatel. I'm a staff attorney with California Advocates for Nursing Home Reform. We're also a supporter of the bill. As Heather mentioned, we think that this streamlines what has heretofore been a very cumbersome appellate process. We think the bill makes this process a lot more streamlined, efficient, and win-win-win sort of for the providers, the residents, and the Department of Social Services as well. I want to speak to the other element of the bill, which is the new right of residents and complainants to appeal investigatory outcomes. Up till now, they have had no right to appeal the outcomes, which is not what happens in nursing homes and in other states where there's a much more robust appellate system, a formalized appellate system. We think that the current system probably violates federal and state law with respect to disability rights and housing rights. And we think that this bill will bring California up to speed on that. Also want to mention the opposition that I just read this morning talks about complainants being sources of relegated to the status of sources of information for investigations by CCL. We don't think that that's the case at all. We think that these are very vital stakeholders. Perhaps the most important stakeholders in the complaint process are the complainants themselves. Oftentimes the residents have been victimized by these regulatory violations, and it's very important to them what the outcomes of these investigations are. So we think that an appellate process for complainants is vital to the integrity of the complaint investigation system. Thank you.
No, thank you so much. Appreciate both of your testimony. We'd like to see if there's any other individuals in support. The sergeant will be breaking out the wireless microphone right here, and it's going to be on the ones and twos.
Good afternoon. My name is Stella Vera Florendell, and I'm with the Office of the State Long-Term Care Ombudsman. I'm here to represent Joseph Rodriguez, the State Long-Term Care Ombudsman, and offering his strong support this bill.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being here.
Carol Schroeder, the California Alliance of Child and Family Services in support.
Thank you. Anyone else in support? I'd like to be able to see if there's anyone opposed. Please, we're going to make room for the folks to come on in. Welcome.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Chairman and members, I'm Roxanne Gould. I represent a group called 6beds.org. It's an organization of residential care facilities for the elderly that are 6 beds or smaller. They were created just last year, and in that year, they've now grown to 1,600 homes. Correct, right?
Yes.
And I'm here today with a member of our board of directors. We want to thank the author. He and his staff have been working with us. We had no concerns with the bill until its recent amendments, and we totally agree with the concept of efficiency and streamlining. We just don't think the recent amendments quite get there, and so I'd like to introduce George Kutnerian, our board member, to more fully flesh that out and articulate that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee members. Our primary concern with the bill is the complainant appeal process. We believe that it represents a significant departure from the rest of the bill, which really seeks to reform the existing appeal process for licensees. We feel that the complainant appeal process goes in a completely different direction and that it creates an entirely new process that potentially extends the investigation timeline by up to 120 business days. And to put that into context, the current CCL investigation timeline for serious allegations is 90 days. So this proposed complainant appeal process can potentially actually be run longer than the initial investigation itself. And so in that way, it really the complainant appeal process really feels like a second investigation. Now, we feel that addressing the concerns of complainants is a good idea, but a complainant appeal process is the wrong way to do that because it seeks to address the concerns of complainants at the direct expense of licensees by subjecting licensees to double jeopardy. Because a complainant appeal process is essentially the equivalent to a second investigation of the same allegation, giving complainants the potential to overturn legitimate administrative findings fundamentally alters the administrative process, at the core of which are two parties, the state and the licensee. In fact, the complainant's identity is kept confidential throughout the investigation process, which we believe highlights the appropriate role of a complainant, which is that of a reporter, a potential witness, and a source of information. If a complainant feels that they have been injured in some way by an alleged act committed by a licensee, they have recourse through the civil courts and can pursue recourse in that way regardless of whatever the administrative findings may be. So we ultimately feel that the best way to address complainant concerns while being fair to licensees is to make sure that complainants play a meaningful role in the investigation itself, and to ensure that they're given a fair opportunity to provide information, to be interviewed, to provide documentation, and by providing a meaningful role to them in the process, that's a better way to go about it than to create a potentially 120-day long complainant appeal process that is essentially a second investigation. So we'd rather improve the current process and the way complainants are treated in that process, as opposed to creating an entirely new one, which is not efficient. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to speak in an opposed position? We're going to bring it to the committee to see if we have any questions or comments.
Yeah, what say you, Assembly Member, to these comments? You got a response?
Well, I learned about their concern yesterday, and I'm open to finding ways to address it. And I don't know if my witnesses have the opportunity to address those issues. If I may.
Just for the gentleman starts, we did receive the letter, I think, about a day ago. And so I know what will end up happening is that any concerns would be brought forward to appropriations as well. But I think that's why, just being fair to the author, that we just recently received this and have not had, I don't want to speak for the author, but we just recently received the concerns that were brought forward. So please.
Yeah, foundationally, this is just about fairness. Currently, the providers have a 4-part appeal system when they're upset with the investigation outcome. Complainants, who are the majority of whom are residents of these facilities, have no appeal process. Once the findings are made, they have no opportunity to formally raise those issues ever again. This just gives complainants the same rights that the providers have. And if this is a system that's meant to protect consumers, then we think that the appeal system ought to be equitable. So again, nursing homes, hospitals have a very robust complainant appeal system, much more robust than what we're asking for here in 1387. Other state residential care facilities have this system available to them, and we think it's only fair.
Mr. Vice Chair, any other questions or comments? All right. We will have the author do his closing comments, please.
All right, I just want to thank you very much for the opportunity, and I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you so much, and do appreciate your work on human services as well, sir. It's always good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, do we have a motion to move the bill? We do not have a motion quite yet, so what we're going to do, once we have a quorum, we'll move the bill.
All right.
So we're going to leave the roll open here, sir, and we're going to be calling members right now to be able to come down. We have several votes that are open, and in fact, Senator Hancock has not taken one vote today because she also has public safety. So we're going to leave this open for now and wait for a motion here as soon as we get another senator.
Great. I
Okay.
understand that. Thank you,
so
Senator.
much, Senator.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we are on hold for just a bit. We'll be looking for a motion on AB 1387 when we come back.